Chapter 2, By the Roots. Once upon a time, your parents, the Sound and the Fury... I'm really glad. This is harsh to say, but I'm kind of glad they're not around. With names like that, anyway, they were Millennial City's most famous powered couple. You'd think that would have had some impact on my life in terms of me getting my license somehow. When they met in high school, they discovered that your mother's ability to generate vocal sonic waves perfectly complemented your father's ability to harness sound energy. Almost immediately after they arrived on MC's hero scene, the public became enamored with their budding romance and their harmonious power set. As they rose rapidly to the hero A-list, no villain was too dangerous for them to battle, and no party was too exclusive for them to attend. This meant that you got to spend your childhood immersed in MC's finest hero highlife, knowing that someday you'd fight alongside your parents as a famous hero. So what exactly is my power again? Some about energy emission? Until your 13th birthday. It was going to be the best night of your life, the first time your powers might begin to manifest. Your parents were at a press conference speaking about one of their recent successes, shutting down an assassin training academy masquerading as a public high school. They were supposed to say a few words about the mission and then come straight home to celebrate your big night. However, just as they were preparing to leave, a young villainess crashed the event. She was Miss Artillery, one of the Assassin Academy's teachers, and she entered ranting about how the Sound and the Fury had ruined her life. She quickly went on the offensive with her power to generate weaponry, and your parents moved to apprehend her. But for some strange reason, perhaps because they were in such a rush to get home to you, they miscalculated their joint attack, yeah, that seems likely. In what became the biggest news story of the year, the Sound and the Fury murdered Ms. Artillery by... liquefying her brain, snapping her spine, or blowing out her heart. Those are all great. Liquefying her brain is the most creative of those three, so we'll go with that. Or most unique, rather, I suppose. While your father, actually, before I get distracted, the ability to scream is a pretty common superhero ability. More common than the ability to just control sound waves. Although that's also very, very cool. But I can't help but picture the lovers from Kung Fu Hustle. While your father used his sound-enhanced strength to restrain Miss Artillery, your mother aimed to disable her with a quick sonic blast. So Miss Artillery's power is to generate weaponry. That's delightfully vague. I'm picturing somebody running at her, and she just caused a tank to fall out of the air and crush them. That's a pretty cool power. You still don't know whether your mother misjudged the strength of her blast, or your father miscalculated the angle. Either way, when the blast cleared, Miss Artillery drooped in your father's arms, pink matter oozing from her nostrils. This certainly wasn't the first time a hero had accidentally used fatal force against a villain. Traditionally, was she a villain necessarily? I mean, sure, she was a teacher at an academy for assassins, but I don't think that automatically makes her a villain. If she's attacking a hero, does that make her a villain inherently? Likely, sure. But necessarily, without a judge there? I don't know. Traditionally, this mistake would require a fair amount of community service and a hefty fine, especially for heroes of your parents' caliber. However, this accident came on the heels of a recent string of excessive hero-on-villain brutality, and their case fell into the hands of Judge Victon, an up-and-comer who was making a play to become MC's mayor. Deciding that a harsh ruling would set the perfect example for his zero-tolerance campaign against heroic brutality, Judge Victon passed the harshest sentence ever given to any powered hero, death. Citing a murderous misuse of powered ability, he sentenced your parents to a life term in the Devoid, a maximum security facility for powereds, without visitation rights. The last time you saw your parents was on the day of that infamous sentencing, right before the police escorted them to the Devoid. You'll never forget the image of your mother and father in orange jumpsuits, handcuffed and shamed, their spirits broken. Judge Victon wouldn't even let them hug you goodbye. Well, I'm sure they could have at some point. I guess actually maybe not if they're in custody the entire time. Your mom couldn't stop crying as the police escorted her away, but as your dad followed, he turned to you and said the words you'd come to live by. Don't let this stop you, foe. Become a hero. For us. Yeah, whatever. Your father could not even have known the profound effect those words would have on you. Really? I mean, the only point of those words would be to have a profound effect on somebody. It's like, oh no, foe, I'm sorry. When I told you to become a hero for us, I meant you to just completely disregard it and go on about your life and become a baseball player. Yeah. Especially after his unjust treatment at the hands of the legal system. As a result, you have very strong feelings regarding the law. I respect the law. No. I'll always follow the law in order to avoid my parents' fate, or I have no problem breaking the law. But I try to follow whenever it seems reasonable enough. Well, I don't know the laws in this world, so I don't really know what I'm agreeing to yet. I'm not lawful stupid. If the law's unfair, I'm not gonna follow it as a costumed crime fighter. Let's do that one. Let's go down the bad guy side. This is dumb, because I don't feel like a bad guy, but I'm pretty sure this is a slippery slope we're stepping out on. After the trial, your parents' considerable fortune was transferred to Ms. Artillery's estate, and you were assigned to live with your only living relative, your grandma. However, moving in with her wasn't so simple. Over the course of their careers, your parents had amassed a deadly collection of enemies, each of whom would be thrilled to seek revenge on the Sound and the Fury, now defenseless family. So the court enrolled you and Grandma in the Powered Family Protection Program, PFPP. Great, that explains why my life hasn't been hounded by paparazzi constantly up until now. Great, I'm glad they explained that. You and Grandma were given brand new identities. The Sterling name was assigned to you, though you at least got to keep your first name. Grandma suddenly found herself forced to live on a pitiful PFPP stipend and had to move you into a small apartment in the eastern fringes. She also had to pull you out of your fancy, powered-only private school and enroll you in the local public school. In the course of a few short months, your life became entirely unrecognizable to you, and it has never been the same since. That's why, every day, you remind yourself of who you really are. Your family name is Tricamo. Apple? What do I have? Brony, Castan, Rosato, Lee, Rizzo, Dector, Ito. I'm Foe. I guess the family name will have to be Ham. That's how it rolls here. So, Foehamner was no more, given way instead to Foe Sterling. And you found that the Sterling version of yourself was vastly different, forced to grow up way faster than anyone ever should. Back in the kitchen, you look across the table at Grandma. She's the only other person in the world who understands how you feel. After all, she was forced to abandon the life she had built for over 70 years to enter the PFPP with you. Despite this, Grandma has still managed to start over and find a way to be happy once more. I'd like to point out that had I not even existed, I still think Grandma would have been forced to join the PFPP because people still would have been trying to get revenge against her. And without her, you'd have had no shot at becoming a hero. Thank you, Gran, you repeat, fighting against the lump forming in your throat. Oh, hush up, shut up, Grandma said, swiping at your cheeks. What are you waiting for? You've got a career to start. Get earning money, I'm poor. You run into your room, where you've made sure to not to keep any plants, since you don't need Grandma's best spies hanging around. How small a plant can Grandma control? Can she control, like, fungal spores in the air? It is decorated plainly, but what truly makes the room yours is the wall filled with framed posters of your favorite powered heroes. Featured centrally are your parents in their classic Sound and Fury costumes, right next to your favorite powered hero, Rebellion. He has been your idol ever since you were a little kid. You've got plenty of other posters on your hero worship wall, but whose career do you want to emulate the most? The team players or the solo heroes? Not the team players. Work for Hare is kinda cool. Hero Heartthrob's kinda dumb. I'm not even reading the names yet. So if you go by name, if I just pay attention to name, Rebellion's stupid, Black Magic's stupid, the Everymen Brigade is cool, Static is acceptable, so I'd probably go with the Everymen Brigade, even the Brigade's a little, yeah. But if I'm going by the descriptions, no Heartthrob, no Powered team. I do like Work for Hire teams, but I don't think I want to be a team right now, so we're gonna go with Static, the Eastern Fringe's current champion. Named after Static Lane, the Fringe's most infamous crime-clogged street, Static is one of the few heroes to stand up to the injustices of life in the Eastern Fringes, since most heroes concentrate on more glamorous and less dangerous work outside of the Fringes. However, no one has seen Static in months, a troubling mystery that has gone unsolved. Every morning, you stare at the hero wall and envision what your poster will look like among these famous heroes. Peeling your eyes away, your attention wanders down to the video game you're supposed to be testing. Now that you have your license, you can finally quit the game testing job since there are dozens of ways for heroes to earn a living. Most of these paid jobs are very difficult to obtain, though. You've heard the horror stories about the endless lines at the DRPR to collect powered hero unemployment. Still, you don't think twice about tossing the video game in the trash and reaching for your single most prized possession, your Taserface costume. As you suit up, you pull a mask over your face to protect your identity. Even though no one would ever recognize you as the Sound and the Fury's child, now that you're all grown up, you don't need anyone discovering your sterling identity and coming after Grandma. You've been perfecting the right costume for a long time, since it's your calling card as a hero. Knowing this, you've chosen a color scheme that's all tones of black and metal gray. That sounds cool. For intimidation, that's a bad reason. Bright and gold primary colors to get noticed. Oh, bright and bold, sorry. Black and bronze, the colors of Millennial City's flag. That could be cool. Blue and gold, the colors of your favorite hero, Rebellion. Blue and gold is also cool. Red and silver, the colors of your parents' Sound and Fury costume. These are all good color palettes. These are all color palettes I have considered using on my Warhammer miniatures. And have used for different armies. So I don't know. Man, this is a tough choice. I guess I'll have to go with the reasons. Intimidation's dumb. Get noticed, dumb. Rebellion, dumb. So it's down between Millennium City's flag or my parents' costumes. Let's go with parents' costumes. Because I don't think anyone will connect it back to Grandma. And if they do, I am very confident that she can care for herself. Every time you put on your costume, you can't wait to use your powers. So you snap your fingers, generating a small pop of energy, which also happens to be your favorite color. Pink, blue, black, yellow, white, red. Create my own color. I was just reading a news article about an artificial intelligence that basically created colors. I mean, obviously, we know all the possible colors in a hexadecimal format. But it would kind of just make its own color, like pick some hex number and give it a name. That was the point of it, was to try and assign names that people would recognize as being associated with that color. And it was a hilarious, awesome failure. It had some of the best, worst names I've ever seen for colors. So we're going to create my own color. And the color that was my favorite name was Stanky Bean. That's right, our powers are going to be Stanky Bean, which is apparently a pinkish taupe kind of color. Not a pretty color, but excellently named. As the pop of Stanky Bean energy fades, oh, this is going to work out wonderfully. You look over your costume in the mirror. Knowing that style without substance means very little. You've also chosen design features that amplify your powers. Truth be told, you'd have been able to afford your hero license way sooner if you hadn't spent so much money on your most prized upgrade. Aerodynamic rounded curves and small back wings for maximum speed, a rocket backpack to channel excess energy and add propulsion to your normal speed flying, or large metal wristbands that store energy for blasting. What really is the difference between the first two? So the first one is a higher max speed. Oh, I see. So the first one means I can go, my max speed is higher. The second one, I think, means I can go at my normal max speed for longer. Or not necessarily max speed, but I can fly for longer. I'm gonna go with the max speed one. This offensive, who's offended by it, upgrade allows you to fly at normal speeds without lowering your power level, an invaluable resource while in the field. Oh. So I have no idea what the other one did. As you, Taserface, stand there in your perfect costume, and with all your intentions set, you realize that you're finally ready to start your hero career. But becoming a legendary hero means more to you than just fulfilling your own dreams. It's also about redeeming the Foehamner name. You have one ultimate goal, to become an A-list hero and reveal to Marvel City that you are actually the Sound and the Furious Child. Oh, that's my goal, is it? Also, A-list shouldn't be the high. I'm not used to A-list meaning the best. Like S-list, S rank should be higher than A-list. I mean, it shouldn't be, but I'm used to that being the case. You know that achieving this level of success is the only way to restore honor to your parents and redeem your family's legacy in the hero world. Isn't it just the regular world? And because it's so important to your end goal, one central question constantly plagues you. In your rise to become a legend, is it more important to focus on achieving fame or upholding justice? I think I'm leaning towards justice right now. Let's see. You got, I need everyone to know my name, or have people know who I am is always going to help, but only if my reputation as a hero is worthwhile. Not really sure how to parse that sentence. It is vital that I uphold justice first and foremost, but that doesn't mean I can't smile for the press once a mission is accomplished. Always doing the right thing will make me a hero worthy of legend. I'll get to the top by never compromising my commitment to justice. Never compromising. That's crazy person talk. It's crazy person talk, and it's not fun. Because it means if I roleplay that character, I basically never have a choice to make, because I always have to choose the non-compromisation thing. Like, there's no thought behind it, per se. There might be some little anguish, I guess, but I'm gonna go with this one. It is vital that I uphold justice first and foremost, but that doesn't mean I can't smile for the press once a mission is accomplished. Frankly, I don't like any of these options. All of them have at least some slight point with them that I don't like, but that is the best one, I think. For having the courage to begin your hero rise, your legend has already increased. Your legend level is the most important meter for gauging your success in the hero world, and is affected not only by decisions you make, but also by any fluctuations in your public image. Rebellion's legend is the highest on record, an astounding 100, so that's your ultimate goal. You should aim higher than that. Your legend level is tracked on your hero license. You flip it over and see you've got a long way to go, since your current legend is a lowly 1. Of course, this plastic version of your license is simply a keepsake. Your official license has already been scanned and uploaded into your Me chip. Warmest regards on your license, sir. Me chip Algernon says, appearing in front of you once more. Best of luck on launching your career. Thanks, Algernon, you say, smiling. You then take a moment to check your hero statistics by clicking on the Show Stats button, located at the top of this screen. Do I do that? I guess so. Codename Taserface. Fame. Justice. Oh, these are opposite things. Lawless. I'm slightly on lawless, you guys. Ooh, bad boy. Offensive. I'm super offensive. I offend everybody. I'm a soloist. Power, wealth, money, legend. Relationships. Family first. I already forgot who Victon was. Unknown, unknown, unknown. Cool. More stats? Nope, back to here. The choices you make throughout your career will be reflected in the statistics and levels listed here. You also know that, in turn, these stats and levels will significantly affect the course of your hero career. The choices you make will have very real consequences, so be sure to choose wisely. Nope, not gonna do that. Algernon, you say. Move the Show Stats button to my home screen and... Who's talking? You all look insane talking to those electronic voices in your heads, Grandma says from the doorway. That's why I simply refuse to have one of those machines implanted in me. It just doesn't seem right. You should use your powers, Grandma, to make a plant biological, version of these computers. That'd be cool. I know how you feel about me chips, Gran, you say, turning towards her. And it's annoying because now that you've done away with landlines, now that they've done away with landlines and cell phones, there's no way of getting in touch with you. Which is precisely how I like it. Buzz off, you're bothering me, Grandma says. But look at you, a born Hamner hero. Well, this born hero had better get out there, you say, shaking off your nerves. This career isn't going to start itself. Wait, before you go, Grandma walks toward you, and you see that she holds an envelope in her hands. Your stomach drops. It's such a big day, Grandma says, her eyes on the floor. They'd want to be here so badly. Your jaw goes tight. You know exactly what Grandma wants you to do. While the Devoid may not allow its prisoners to have any visitors, it does permit them to receive letters. So for years, you wrote to your parents, telling them everything about your life. You thought writing those letters would make you feel better, but it only made you feel worse. Because the Devoid doesn't allow its prisoners to write any letters back. It's been years since you've written anything. Grandma looks up at you, and your heart feels like it might break. I'm sorry, you say, but you know how I feel about this, Gran. You don't write letters to your parents anymore because it's too painful. I'm angry at them for abandoning me. I need to learn how to live without them. I don't know what to say. How about that? No, painful. Painful's... it's the best option. There's no good option. Again, not writing letters to your parents proves just as difficult as actually writing them, so it's a task you try to avoid thinking about entirely. Grandma knows this, so she doesn't press the issue. Alright, Foe, Grandma says, fighting to keep her face even. Now listen to me, please be careful out there. Lord knows I won't be able to sleep until you're home. I will, Gran, I promise. Then off you go, she says, drumming up a smile. And do try to kick some butt, yes? Ready to go, you step up on your window's 14th story ledge and look out over the grandeur of Millennial City. One of the advantages of living in the eastern fringes is the spectacular view of MC's iconic skyline. You take a deep breath, letting the energy of the city run through you. Standing, is this like the sound energy again type stuff? Standing on this precipice, you can't help but wonder what kind of hero you will become, and will you be able to survive long enough to achieve the legend status you crave? The choice is up to you. You think to yourself right before you jump off the ledge. Next chapter, the lower cave. Man, my nose. I don't know what's in my nose. I touched it like constantly this episode. It's so irritated. Is it allergies or something? I've already gotten like 3 bloody noses today. This is insane. So I apologize, guys. But there's not a lot I can do about it. I guess I could sit here and just muzzle through it, but I'm not that strong.